Hello fellow YouTubers, Bear Prepper here. I know it's not often that you get to see me, like to keep it that way, but for Southern Prepper 1, I thought it might be best if I was on camera. So his question was, what skills are you lacking? And he also had a question about canning needs. So first let me go through what skills I feel I'm lacking. I'm one of those people that when I'm in a crisis, I perform amazingly well. I always just seem to know what to do. I stay calm. It's when I'm not in a crisis that I have the difficulties. I have to learn patience. I probably have more patience than most, but I keep going back to the thought that if SHTF happens, I'm going to have 20 different personalities that I'm going to have to try to bring together. And when you think about the personalities on a one-to-one basis, or 3 or 4 to 1, you can usually manage them quite well. But when you get 20 different individuals who are all stressed out, they're all out of their element, it's going to be extremely difficult. So that is what I'm lacking, and that is what I'm trying to obtain and learn how to manage personalities and emotions and calm situations. As for the canning question, how many canning jars do you need? I probably have a different philosophy than most. My philosophy in food storage is 50% to 75% of your food storage should be in dry. Because that is what you can keep easily. It takes up less space, it's less weight, and it lasts the longest. As for the rest of it, you should have some canned goods, and you should also be considering your fresh as part of your food storage. Because as long as you're growing fresh or killing fresh, then you're always going to have that available. What my plan is to think about what would I be killing, and most likely that would be a deer. And a deer, you say maybe 100 pounds, that's probably overestimating. So if you have 100 pounds of deer, you're not going to be able to can it all before it goes bad. So you're going to use a three-way approach. You're going to take some of your deer meat and you're going to dry it. You're going to take some of your deer meat and you're going to smoke it. You're going to take some of your deer meat and eat, and then can some. So I would like to have about 100 jars maximum in storage that I'm not using. So that if I were to kill a deer or two, then I could do some up. Or my fresh vegetables as they come in. As you see, you've seen before, that I have a lot of stuff on my shelves, but probably maybe 300 jars maximum, probably less than that. And I'm moving over to the Tattler lids. When you think about the cost of the throwaway lids, and every time you have to buy a dozen, it may only be $3 or $4, but they will eventually run out. Now, I will probably always do some with the regular lids, so I want to have some of those available, because if I am helping other people, then I don't want to lose my Tattler lids. So, I think it all depends on what your philosophy is, how many jars you need. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form that you need thousands of jars. Growing up and learning from my grandparents and all the elderly people that I've learned from in my life on how to do, the most they ever had in their sheds was half of what I have on my canning. So, they learn to manage their resources through fresh, eating fresh, preserving by smoking or drying, and those kind of things. So I think it depends on your philosophy. If you want to eat nothing but canned food, then you're going to need a lot more than if you're going to do dehydrated, freeze-dried, fresh, with a garden or with, being able to kill things. So you have to think of your philosophy. Southern Prepper One, I believe that you are, like I am, have a very huge dry storage. You don't need as many as you think you need. You need enough to package up your produce. And you need enough empties that if you do make a good kill, then you can at least put a quarter of it in canning. And that means you have to have multiple canning pressure cookers, because without that, your meat is going to spoil, because if it is a true SHTF situation, you're not going to have ice. Yes, you can put it in a stream if you have a stream. Yes, you could put it in a root cellar if you have a root cellar. So it all depends on each individual. So I think it's a question everyone needs to answer for themselves. I really think this was a great question, and you give us a lot of great information on YouTube, and I appreciate it so much. Blessings.